Hello guys. So today I bring you the last one of the three Forgeguards I really wanted to try out, which is the Torkrefin or Torkrefin Multistrike Forgeguard. We are not using Smite, and the reason why we're starting here in the dummy area is because it's the easiest way to show how much damage a dot build does. And well, this thing is quite silly. So let's just go and hit dummy for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is still not yet perfect because I'm still missing skill points to spec into Abyssal Decay, which will be a bigger damage gain than Forgestrike. And as you can see, we are what, 30, not even 30 seconds into hitting the dummy. We're already gotten 30% off. If you look at those bleeds, they're ticking for a whole bunch of damage. So when we reach like full mana cap, so we don't have any more mana, we are hitting about 1.2, 1.3 million leads. And yeah, and this is like can still very much be upgraded. We don't even have T5 physical penetration on there. Same there. But yeah, this looks really nice. Like, looks like something. It makes me wonder why nobody ever tried this, or slash why is this not more publicized, because it seems to be really good. Anywho, let's go into an echo and we'll keep on talking. Yeah, while I was doing the video I realized I didn't even got around to unlocking 300 plus corruption. So we're just gonna go here, 335, just did a quick Confluence of Oblivion. Now let's see if we can find, look, a Reapy Beast. Let's see what we can do to the Reapy Beast. We know how much it adds. Good damage. And again, like the Volcanist Forgeguard, the automated shield throw ends up doing a lot of damage. And as you can see, as long as you can keep the multi-hits on Multistrike, the armaments, things die pretty quickly.
Stand down or die.
Yeah, the final version, especially for bossing, will want Abyssal Decay. I just don't have the skill points for it. I will thank LOL Katrika for that, because I completely forgot the synergies it has with Bleed, Abyssal Decay. Like, we get the 18% more increased damage, so 18% more damage on top of everything that we already have. And instead of getting 12% more damage, we get like 20% from nether coating. So yeah, probably gonna be pretty damn good. Damage-wise, we can get at least a 20% increased damage from where we are currently. Oh, should give us about what? Should jump us to 1.5, 1.6 million dots bleed damage. And yeah. And that is that, the 300 corruption echo. Fairly chill. At the end you can see the Aberroth Kill. You'll be able to see how stupid good it actually is. It did it with under 3 minutes, and we don't really have all that amazing gear. We'll go over the gear in a bit, so let's first start with the skills. So, as I was saying, into skills, so we start off with Multistrike. I'm gonna go over the leveling build I use, which is the setup, and then we'll cover Abyssal Echoes at the end, which is the one we'll replace Forgestrike with later on. Anywho, so Multistrike. You start off Multistrike by going right side, down into Bladestorm. After that, you want to go towards the Justing to unlock it, because it's gonna help you clearing while leveling. After that, you can go straight up for the extra sack, and then path your way down for the damage with based on armor, and you can also max that one out. Then when you can use your two-handed, you want to grab the aggressive cadence to get an additional sword, And here you can grab these later on. I like this because we can get block effectiveness and also guarantees that we do a double hit at the start instead of just having. So you'll essentially always do throw out a sword, even if you have no stacks, which is nice. Oh, it's always nice. For 1 point, I feel like it's worth. You can also drop that and go into Doctrine of the Anvil. Again, I'm not too sure this. The reason why I don't go into Doctrine of the Anvil is mostly because of the mana. Because the extra sword will consume 3 more mana every time you do multi-strike on single targets, and it will also lower our attack speed. So maybe it's a DPS gain, but it would also mean it cuts into our mana. I would have to properly test it, and you know, that kind of min-maxing I'll leave to you guys. I'm just giving you a base of the build that actually works, and it's already pretty good. Even with low investment. Okay, so then Forgestrike, the second skill. Well, initially I had like Vengeance and Warpath, and then we swapped over to these when we had enough level to get Multistrike and Forgestrike, when we unlocked the Mastery. Anywho, Forgestrike, you can pick. I went straight here for the sword and the extra bleed chance, and put a point there for the physical penetration, because a single point makes a hell of a difference when you have none. Then we went for the more damage. I also at some point went for the swords, just so they could blow up, just because I like it. It's not particularly good. You can completely ignore this and dump more points into Serrated Blade and more area, for example, or even here more critical multi. Grab that. You can also go grab this, which will reduce the area, the AoE, but will give you way even more damage, because all your crit multiplier will be converted into penetration, so that's 100% more penetration. So you can just go pick up all of these nodes, then pick up the damage here, get the stun chance getting turned into increased damage over time, and importantly, get reinforced weapon as soon as possible. This is the main node you want to grab right away, just so you can get another multiplier. Then here I just grabbed it for an extra hit, because you know, an extra hit, more bleed application, and that's it. Same thing with this. I grabbed this because it means more bleed application, since the fire burst is considered to be our hit. But you can ignore it and just supercharge your Forge Strike. Up to you, really. It's just a leveling skill at the end of the day. So here, this one is really important. You want to start right off going for the Frenzy and the Colossus, because it will give you a penetration very early on, which will be a bunch of damage if you're already doing bleed. And even if you're not doing bleed, just a phys damage penetration, because it also applies to your regular hits. If you're just doing physical damage, it will just be good. Then you want to go here to get Lava Burst and the extra Lava Burst damage, because this will be really good when you're using it for clear. After that you want more ricochets, and then you want to path here towards the shred and get the 5, probably the 4 points here. This is nice if you can get a couple of points in here, but it's not really necessary. Like, the Lava Burst is going to be doing way more damage than the shield throw itself. It's just nice to have, I guess, getting a bit more of damage multiplier. But again, it's not that big, so you can very easily drop that, get bleed chance. You can even go here for the armor. Up to you. It's just utility. The shield throw here is for utility, and Lava Burst helps with clearing on echoes. Especially with sigeons, because it will be procced automatically every time you block, so just free AoE damage. Nice to have. And also shred. Then we go into Healing Hands, because why not? It's we go for the melee hit, because it turns it into something else that will apply bleeds. You don't need to prioritize melee hit. You want to get first the Healing Hands on melee hits, so every time you do a melee hit, you get Healing Hands. Then you want to go here for the mana, so it becomes 0 mana cost, so it becomes free. After that, you go into the melee conversion, mostly because you want the damage. You want this 48 damage multipliers to apply to your bleeds. And then you get either Seraph Blade, or if you want to do a melee hit, which is better since Torkrefin does have the melee extra melee chance of melee the chance of bleed on with melee hit. So we benefit from this being a melee instead of a cast. And then you can turn this into a movement skill. Again, after you get the basic mana and the 100% chance, up to you where you go. You can go directly for the movement skill, and then go for the melee hit, or go for the movement skill and then grab these two, which are nice damage reduction. Again, all of these are good, but what we really want first things first is the mana cost reduction and the chance on hit, just so we can be applying more bleeds and also healing ourselves a lot, because generally dot builds tend to have a bit of a problem with healing, mostly because since you're applying dots and the dots do damage over time, your healing takes a while to start, so having healing hands actually pairs up really well with that. Then sigils is just the usual. We go for the block chance, we go sigils for the block chance, and then we get the extra damage, mana regen, and the ignite chance. If you cannot get enough block chance to 100%, just remember you can get an extra sigil for 3% extra block chance until you can cap it through gear and then shift your points towards damage. The extra mana regen is also pretty useful, so you might opt in to even remove a bit of ignite and get more mana regen. Up to you. For me, this is fine. Works perfectly fine. And as I was saying, we need to also cover the Abyssal Echoes. This is like the end game part of it, part of the build of min-maxing. The reason why we want Abyssal Echoes instead of Forgestrike is Forgestrike gives us 12% more damage, right? However, Abyssal Echoes gives us 20% if you have this, and because this applies blind, we can guarantee that they're going to be blind. We get 20% more damage. We get 20% increased attack speed. You get this thing that will make your bleed stacks consume instantly, consume and deal damage instantly, and and this is the icing on the cake. You get 10% fizz res, fizz shred, and 24% the increased damage over time taken by the enemies. So 20% and another 24% multiplier. So you can already imagine the amount of damage you're going to be getting out of this. Not only is it better than the Forgestrike buff for damage, it's also even better because it has an extra multiplier on top of it. So you want to grab that, Crumbling, you want to grab Embrace the Darkness, Bleed stacks, you can put a point here or two. You're going to be using Venom Tail, the Viper Tail, which I'm going to have to change the planner at the end. It's just gonna, won't need the slow chance, so you just max Time Rot, max the area, then if you have leftover points, it's up to you. I don't think I'm gonna go with Targeted. You can also, instead of getting the extra area, you can just go Targeted Abyssal Echoes. It's gonna be something that you'll have to feel and see how it feels best for you. Since this will be something more for like bosses, and we are melee at the end of the day, I feel you don't need to target the Abyssal Echoes. But that's just me. And yeah. Now, on to passives. So first things first, what we want to prioritize is going into Paladin to get 15 points in. So these points shouldn't be here. You can also ignore the Phoenix Strike and just go 4 points here. I think 3 points is enough, especially since we're doing 2 attacks per second. Well, you're probably better off 4 points here. I think in the final planner that's what we have. 4 points here, 8, 3, and that's all. Really, that's all you need. These 3 passives, and that will allow you to unlock Healing Hands and Seals of Hope, and you don't need to worry too much about it anymore. Then we want to go Forgeguard. We want to, well, early on you want first 5 points to be here, so you can unlock Shield Throw, obviously, and then go into the Paladin tree, get the 15 points in there, and after that we start pathing towards the end of the tree, so you can get Forge Master's Might. 5 points there, 3 points there. We max gets our a bit more block chance. strength, penetration for Forgestrike. Later on, you might opt in to just remove all the points from here. When you spec into Abyssal Decay, you remove these points, shove them here for the extra strength and the extra block effectiveness. All good. And then when you reach here, we get all the points in this. This alone provides us to 280% bleed chance. So it's very much worth it. Each point is like 28% bleed chance with carry and creation. So yeah, here we go for the strength. Then we go here. We start getting we get the damage reduction, and here we get the damage reduction over time. Especially also the physical resist is also nice since Torkrefin does scale off our fizz res. Then eventually we'll want a couple of points here when we can. After we finish, well, if you get 2 points in here, you get 12% frailty chance, so you don't need to worry or have an idle for frailty. Until then, you can just use an idle with frailty. And at the end game, we'll want a couple of points there, which is more strength, which is nice, more damage, more armor, and gives us the frailty chance, which is the main reason why I put a couple of points there. Okay, after we get the Torkrefin, then we want to path our way here for the attack speed. I just put 5 points there because increased damage and stun avoidance. And then we get the attack speed. You can also go if you prefer, ignore that and get more health and cooldown recovery for your healing hands. Up to you. This is a bit of a personal thing, what you prefer to get, other than anything else. And then Void Knight, we get 5 points there, we get 5 points there to unlock Abyssal Echoes, and after that we can get like 5 points there and 5 points there. For more health and armor and strength. For me, it is on the... Again, we'll have all of this on the endgame planner, you can just check that, how I would build it. But do be aware that this can be swapped around. So can the points here, so if you want to cap out your void res like with Abyssal Endurance, it's also not a bad option. You also get extra fizz res, which works well with Torkrefin. Up to you, really. This is something that becomes very up to your taste. It's not make or break. You can also get 5 points there if you want the extra area for Multistrike and a bit more armor. Again, this extra 5 points is really up to you what you prefer. I'm guessing the 5 points here might be your best bet just because it helps with AoE on Multistrike, but Multistrike already has a pretty decent AoE with the spear conversion. Anywho, so on to the gear. And okay, so now what do we have over here? We have a Torkrefin, obviously. We want the T7 attack speed, and then if we possibly want the physical damage. I got lucky, got this one, which is pretty decent. But what we really want is the attack speed, first things first. After anything else that comes, bleed chance, increased physical damage. I think increased physical damage will be the best stat to have here, because we already have so much bleed penetration and bleed chance that we can probably get more damage out of the increased physical damage over anything else. But again, whatever you can get, it's gonna be good. Physical penetration, bleed chance, whatever. Physical damage. Okay, here, helmet and chest are gonna be essentially the same thing. You want increased physical damage, you want the bleed penetration, health. It's gonna be both. Here you want the Champion's Regalia instead of Solar Plate. And then sealed, I'm not too sure. But those are, what, we'll have this on the endgame planner, the proper min-maxing. Here we have Evolution's End. Ideally, what we'd want to get is Nihilis, because we can make use of it. So might as well, if you get a good roll, Nihilis. Until then, Evolution's End works just fine. Currently I have the health, because my health is still a bit low. Later on, when you get all the gear together and start having a bit more leeway in terms of health, you can just slap in there T7 physical damage. It's probably going to be the best thing. Here's Sigeons Reprisal. Block chance, block effectiveness, and health. That's what I would be aiming for. You can also replace block effectiveness for physical damage if you feel you're tanky enough and you want more damage. So you have that option. Here we want block chance, physical damage, and strength, because we need the block chance on both rings to get to block cap. So that is one of them. Here I'm currently using this. On my final planet I think I have an ivory ring. Whatever, this ring, if you can fit in another quicksilver coil, all the better. If not, just a ivory gold ring exalted with some, just because it helps you cover your resist, right? Like here, this is helping me cap out my lightning and cold. In this case, you can also use ivory ring to help cap out your necrotic, which leaves you more leeway to have something else here instead of necrotic. Again, just mess with it as you need for your resist. Again, here we are using lightning. On the final planet I think I have an ivory ring with block chance and lightning res, if I remember correctly. Okay, belts, Thornslinger, physical 1-to-all skills, increase well, physical skills, which is most of your skills except Abyssal Decay at the end. And then it just gets us more bleed chance. You can forgo Thornslinger and go with Venom Tail. It's up to you, really. It's mostly because of physical skills that I wanted to Thornslinger, but you can replace it with, for example, the Venom Tail, since the poison chance is gonna get translated into bleed chance anyway. So that's an option. Here, Blood of the Exile, we want T7 movement speed, and then we want hybrid health, probably, or even strength. Strength can also work. Carrion, we want the T7 attack speed, no two ways about it. Everything else, you either go for strength, damage over time, or hybrid health. I'd probably go hybrid health. Here, we want the T7 physical damage, because we were kind of lacking in physical damage at the time. And probably you'll still want it. That or strength. His strength will also give us damage from Multistrike, also gives us armor. So not a bad option. And I guess we covered all the gear then. Yeah, Torkrefin is the thing that makes this quite silly. First, it gives us a bunch health. It gives us bleed chance on a melee hit, which is not as important since we do have Carrion, but still nice. Viscera is really nice, although you can't really count on it much. That's why I'm not stacking too much physical resist, because it's nice to have, but you are limited when you're in combat with bosses and you're not killing stuff. You're essentially limited to gaining 1 stack every 2 seconds. So I don't feel it's worth stacking Fizz Res for it. It's just a nice to have kind of deal. What's important is the Fizz penetration with bleed, flat health, and the bleed on melee. And the fact that it's a two-handed, which lets us get 140% more bleed chance from the Smelter's Wrath passive in Forgeguard 3. And yeah. And then Sigeon is really good just for the automation of shield throw, which will help us keep frenzy, threads, more fizz penetration. It's just good. It also allows us to block cap still. Because Flayer's Pride would be an option. The problem with Flayer's Pride is you cannot cap block. Or even... I'm saying you can. I don't think you can. But even if you can, it requires a really, really high investment. Probably like T6 at least block chance on both rings, and then maybe even a T6 on Carrion, which would be a bit annoying. And I'm not sure it's worth it. So this is just a simpler way to do it. Okay. So on to idols, I guess. So idols. Currently I'm just using these to cap out my resists with whatever stats are useful. And this is what you should be using them for. The only thing that's really important is getting a huge idol with additional chance for additional multi-strike swords. If you can fit 2, because I'm not too sure how these work, if they are independent of each other or if they just add together. I'm assuming they just add together. So you can get higher chance of more multi-strike swords. It's gonna be something that in my final planner, I know I only have 1 because I need the rest for capping out resists, and you can also get bleed chance and bleed penetration on the Humble Weavers. So it's I looked at it as a good trade-off. This one we want fizz damage over time and additional strike for additional chance of multi-strike swords. And then here, currently you have these two, but you'd want a tree large Raya with bleed duration and then either elemental res if you need them, or physical damage over time. And the rest they're just, yeah, whatever you need to cap out your resists. Then if you're using small idols, you want physical penetration. If you're using minor idols, you probably want armor and whatever resists you're missing. And stouts, well, whatever. Whatever has a chance of something, it'll give you bleed chance. I had this with shock. Shock is good, 25%. I think you actually want shock, because shock is the highest one you can get in terms of percentage. So if you're using large, you'll probably want shock and whatever resist you're needing. And these you want the poison, the bleed ones. The 20% chance to bleed and 2% penetration with bleed. And yeah, that's it. That's it for idols. Now blessings, it's fairly obvious. We want ignite, we want bleed, we want shock. Shock from Lagon, ignite from Maya, bleed from the big thick dragon. I cannot Emperor corpses. As you can see, we're still missing like 100% bleed chance here. If we max out these idol blessings. Here out, we want the block chance. We can cap block without this, so we need it. It would be nice if you could get frostbite, because it would be more bleed chance, but it is what it is. And here we go for the Grand Embers of Immortality to help us cap endurance. So we can cap endurance. Another thing I forgot about the idols. You want the two large idols because we'll need endurance and damage over time on them as an enchanted affix to fully cap out our endurance. Because with just a blessing is not enough. You can use a Brewmaster's Buckle on the meanwhile if you want to cap out your endurance. I haven't felt the need to. Because we feel stupidly tanky already. But it's just another safety you can get. So onto the leveling bit that we are now been doing. I'll just go over the gear I've used while leveling. Again, this is another one where I just grabbed whatever I had, which means last bear from the get-go. Last bear, then whatever we had, a random Jade Amulet. This came from Nemesis, it was good while it is good, just attack speed. Increased damage over time, physical damage, strength, all are good. Again, last bear with attack speed. We tried to craft this one into something nice, but we essentially got a taste of blood early on, and you just used it for the longest of times. And then at 35, you get a sigeons, you equip it right away, so you get your. If you can slam it with block chance beforehand, all the better. If not, just keep it as is. The reason why I say if you can get the block chance, all the better, because then if you have a high block chance, it also means you have a high chance of just throwing out shield throws, which feels really nice while running through the campaign and getting things, just killing them murdered because shield throw gets automated. Well, yeah, early on I was also using this one before we got around to dual wielding. Again, you can also ignore the shield if you don't have Sigeons. You can just keep dual wielding during the early bits of the leveling, because it will be the single biggest DPS gain, just because you get 20% attack speed from dual wielding. And then you can also get more stats, but again, the stats you can also get them from a two-handed. It ends up being very similar. That's tier 1. So that's tier 3 with his damage. I know, tier 2. Tier 3. So yeah, these are the weapons we use for a while. And then rings, just get whatever you need. Silver rings are good for movement. Gold rings are good for resists, especially when you start reaching Euphoria. And then by the time you start getting to the point of... Oh, see, this is one of the idols I meant. This is the one you want later on to shove in here. Cap out your endurance as well. Yeah, keep on the lookout for rings with block chance, because even with 3% block chance, it's enough. You don't really need the. Oh no, we do need. Huh. Another impression that we could get it with tier 5s. Alright. Again, you can get it with tier 5s. Odd. I'm pretty sure the final planner has it with tier 5s. Huh. Strange. Okay, give me a Ah. 100%. Oh no, we do need a tier 6. No, the Forgeguard. Tell me I have the. Oh. Okay. Actually, on the last one, I actually do have it like this. Final planner. Just so we can use the T7 for something else. Okay. Again, we just look at the final planner and then mess around with it. You have all those options. You don't need to follow exactly what I did, especially because I believe in you. You're gonna do something better than what I have here. So finishing up the leveling thing, the leveling situation, and then as soon as you can equip your Torkrefins, try to get one with even a T6 attack speed. Just equipping one of them is gonna be massive for your damage. Just because of his penetration that it provides, along with the Viscera. Because when doing echoes, the Viscera stacking works pretty well, and you get a whole bunch of bleed chance. Like if you have 50% physical res, which you're gonna have more, you get 150 bleed chance. And if you have your multi-strike cap full armaments, you're gonna be doing, you attack once and you're essentially doing 5 hits. So yeah, this is really good when clearing echoes. And then here we just go for chalices. Just as soon as you can, you're able to start equipping your item, your uniques. If you have Salt of Wound, you can use them on a meanwhile. It's not really needed, just because you can get physical penetration with as a sentinel affix, so that diminishes the value of Salt of Wound, and you're probably better off just using some wing guards. You're better off just using these, probably, just because of the stupid amount of attack speed they provide you, along with the haste. Haste is nice. And yeah, I guess that's it. Again, we can replace that with Venom Tail if you have a good one. Not Venom Tail. Viper Tail. Sorry, I always get the name wrong. It does give you attack speed, gives you the slow. I might end up replacing it, really, with Viper Tail. Although the extra skill point is nice for this. Although you can just drop a point there from the attack speed, the increased attack speed, and fine, probably. And then we get slow, which is a very nice CC. A very nice source of CC, and oh yeah, we will just have attack speed on this one instead. We'll just have the attack speed being covered by Venom Tail. You can also go Jungle Queens. Again, there's a few options. Don't feel forced to do what I do, because there are probably, like, maybe the increased physical damage from Jungle Queens ends up being better than the extra bleed chance, because we already have so much bleed chance. I didn't really min-max the build, so take that into consideration, just use what you have. The important is the Torkrefin, Carrion, and sigeons, and then Blood of the Exile and Valdir's. I don't think you can get anything better than those. You can get some other relic and it will work, but I don't think it's gonna be as good as Valdir's. Not to mention, Valdir's gives you the bleed chance and just the health gained on kill when you're stacking, when you can get up to 2000 bleeds. It's kind of funny. So yeah, I guess that covers everything for the leveling. I thank you guys for watching, and well, after we're gonna have the Abbey kill, you can see it. It's under 3 minutes, or about 3 minutes, so pretty fast. And well, I'll see you guys on the next one, which is probably gonna take a while. These I already had all together at the plans, and it was just grind. Already had a good part of the gear. Next build, I don't even know what I'm gonna be doing. I think I'm redoing Nish's Spellblade Spark Charge. We're gonna be fiddling around with primordials and see which primordial would fit that build. And well, I don't know when that's gonna be done. That's because since we're also kind of getting into Grim Dawn. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one, and enjoy the Abbey. Bye bye. Okay, here's to hoping we don't die. After you want to stream Skyrim and to install next on other collection mods, I can leave my account without problems. Nah, it's fine. I don't have space in my PC currently. I have like 40 or 50 gigabytes free. I need to do some cleaning.
And with a guest. But first, prove yourselves worthy.
I do thank you for the offer.
Enough of this. Harvest. Entertain my dear sister for a moment.
I do like the stupid amount of bleeds I can apply.
Such wasted potential. All Abyss would have welcomed you.
Woody now.
You fight for nothing. Weak and worthless. See the beauty we were denied. The terror turned her back on us. The void comes. The gods tore our world apart. They deserve their fate. The void hungers. Weak and worthless. We treated the world no better. Death is our legacy. The void hungers. Hope will not save you. You fight for nothing.
Heck. You know that weekend when you can come to stream? Last weekend? Yes, you did mention you were busy. And I guess that's that. That was really quick though. 3 minutes from start to end.